Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dustin, and before we get started, let me ask you a quick question. What would you think if I told you that 25% of all Americans believe that their current sitting president was not born in the United States and therefore not eligible for the office of which they held? False, right? That's crazy. Unfortunately, it's not. This is a conspiracy theory known as birtherism. The 25% figure that I specifically referenced to is a CNN opinion poll held in 2011, 3 years after Barack Obama was elected, indicating 25% of Americans and 4 in 10 Republicans believed in said conspiracy theory, that he was probably or most definitely not born in the United States of America. Mind you, 2008, the presidential candidate Obama released his birth certificate to the public. Now, before I explain why this was such a persuasive theory and why we had the numbers that we did, what is a conspiracy theory? According to Merriam-Webster, a conspiracy theory is a theory that explains an event or set of circumstances as the result of a secret ploy, usually involving powerful conspirators like politicians. As a matter of fact, the birtherism theory is specifically one of the examples they provide on their page, okay? Now, why would someone believe in a conspiracy theory? Most of the time when you think conspiracy theories, you think crazy tinfoil hats and stuff, right? Well, there's a couple of reasons. First off, they usually make their believers feel good about themselves and the groups they belong to. Could be some form of tribalism. They help believers find meaning in this confusing world. It's the information age, internet, constant bombardment from all kinds of information and news sources, 24/7 news cycle. Maybe helps them kind of center themselves and make sense of everything, right? They lead believers to make them think that they're in control. With the aforementioned issue with the confusing world, makes them think, hey, I am in control of everything, right? Now, what persuasive tactics are used specifically to spread birtherism? The birther movement uses several persuasive tactics, including hasty generalizations, red herrings, and straw men, okay? Proponents of the conspiracy theory are counting specifically on the fact that you, the listener, will not do your research. Most of the conspiracy theories, specifically birtherism, will not hold up to any form of scrutiny that you provide, right? Furthermore, a lot of the times the people that choose to believe in said conspiracy theories, they actually already have an innate confirmation bias. So this is something that they already believe, perhaps because they believe Obama is not a good fit for the president of the United States due to his politics, or perhaps something a little bit more harsh like racism, or maybe they believe that he's Islamic and they do not like Muslims, right? So they come in with an already set mind view of innate prejudice, or which essentially they're going in and looking for information that's going to say, hey, I was right about this the whole time. Reminds you of those first three things I mentioned right there about why people would believe in conspiracy theories. Now, before we get into why I chose this one, where did birtherism originate, right? Okay, it actually came from an original smear against Obama that he was a crypto-Muslim. This is floated back in 2004, back in local Chicago politics by Illinois political candidate Andy Martin, right? On various conspiracy theory sites, over time this evolved. It took the form of anything from him being educated in Indonesia to being raised specifically in Islamic theology. And upon his debut into the national stage in 2007 while running for president, both major American political parties actually were trying to put a stop to it. They aggressively tried to say, hey, this is not the truth, guys. Please do your research. This is not the case. They actually aggressively try to push his Christian values, the fact that he attended Christian church and stuff like that, to say, hey, this can't be right. It can't be right. However, unfortunately, the problem with conspiracy theories, once again, it generally goes back to people getting their confirmation bias, already believing that view. If they have these kind of views, you generally are not going to be able to talk them out of it. And this birtherism is a prime example of it, right? It continued to evolve over time. Now, on the national stage, as he came to be viewed as a presidential candidate, the actual birtherism that most people know had nothing to do with what Andy Martin mentioned back in 2004. It had nothing to do with Barack Obama being Islamic or having Islamic ideology. It actually changed to now he wasn't born in the United States, so therefore he can't be president, right? This is actually a chain mail that was on a pro Hillary Clinton website that we have no actual attributable source to. We just have it like on file. That was actually stating that he was never actually born in a Hawaii, and that his birth certificate was, essentially created long after he was born because his mother could not fly from Kenya. Now, once again, we have this on file thanks to Snopes, but it's not attributable to anybody, and it isn't even the same conspiracy theory we really started with. Now, to go, why did I choose birtherism? Birtherism started happening during, once again, Barack Obama's presidential election, and that was actually the first presidential election myself that I was able to ever be a part of. And there was a real big movement with how charismatic he was, how he was kind of a fresh start for all of us involved. At the time, we were young, 21, 22, and everything like that. And you could not escape this conspiracy theory. I mean, I've lived my life, I've heard conspiracy theories before, but this is something that, it was literally even on, mainstream media. Like, you turn on CNN, you turn on whatever your choice of news source is, and you cannot escape this. It had been mainstream, perhaps like a conspiracy theory had never been before. This is probably in portion to the fact that, that was really when internet was truly accessible to everybody, blogging sites, the birth of social media, things of the sort. Now, probably the most important thing to take this is what exactly can we take from conspiracy theories, specifically birtherism, right? Conspiracy theories will always exist. We will never, ever, most likely, ever live in a society that does not have some sort of conspiracy theory. It's kind of just natural, right? But we need to realize just how absolutely damaging conspiracy theories can be. They absolutely shut down discourse, and even years after the fact, like birtherism, while thankfully the 25% number does not exist anymore, it's much smaller, there's still plenty of Americans that truly believe that he was never, ever born in the United States. And that's not even going as far as some of the conspiracy theories that I'm sure people have heard about a cabal of lizard men who run, the American government along with the Illuminati and stuff like that. You don't even have to get to that kind of level before it truly becomes damaging. It's crucial that the listener be aware of this. Once again, one of the biggest things that conspiracy theories have going for them is that they assume that you are too busy and that you are, frankly, too lazy to actually do your own research. 99% of all conspiracy theories will not hold up to someone reading past the headline or a post on social media, because any kind of research you do, any kind of amount of scrutiny that you add in right there will immediately shut it down and disprove it. Now, thankfully, in the year 2022, awareness of such dangerous conspiracy theories, in part thanks to how widespread mainstream birtherism was, people are more aware of it, but especially with the tribalism and the politics and stuff like that that we have dealing with today, it's just as easy to fall into these sort of things. You might just not even realize it because perhaps it's not as outrageous, right? Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed my presentation.